Hi, my name is Kathy Johnson. I am the mom to Amanda, Angela, and Rocky Leonard. This video is a follow-up to my last video about Amanda's life after school. This video is going to go over the intake process. Now, if you're watching this video and you have a child with Angelman syndrome, you know you've been through an intake. They want to know everything. They want to know doctors and medications and phone numbers and things like that. I did not know what they were going to ask at this intake, so I took all the information I possibly could. It ended up being a relatively short intake. They did want to list some Amanda's medications. They asked what they had to watch out for, as far as behaviors go, things like that. They asked Amanda's abilities. I told them I had a video of Amanda doing some things around the house on my phone that I showed them. So they had a pretty good idea of what abilities Amanda had. She said, "Is there anything else we need to know?" And only 15 minutes had passed, so that wasn't very long. So I said, "Yes, I have a question." Amanda has tremors, and sometimes she has a medication she has to take. What is your policy for Amanda bringing in medication? And she said, "Oh, we don't have anybody here that can administer medication." And that was not even a question I had thought I needed to ask during the tour. I assumed, since they're an agency that services people that has a lot of different needs, I assumed that they had that ability. And I said, "You don't have anybody here that does that?" And she said, "No, no, we don't." And Amanda is only going to her after school program 2 days a week for 3.5 hours. So I said, "Well, that's okay. We can give her medication before she comes, and that will last through, the time that she's going to be here." So that's an interesting thing to note is, before you start this process, write down every question you can possibly think of. If you have, a husband that's a good sounding board, or a mom or a sister or a friend, say, what kind of questions, can you think of if they know your child well? Because we did not think to know. We did not think to ask that during the tour. Um, that was pretty much it. She she wanted to know what Amanda liked. We had to pick a place for her to go. She wanted to know if there was anything behaviorally they had to watch out for. That was it. It lasted about 20 minutes. So after the intake was over, I felt like I was missing something, and finally I figured it out, and I said, "Well, are the job coaches in the building? Can they meet Amanda? Can I meet him?" And she says, "Oh, no, they're in the community with clients." And I expected that, so I said, "Okay, when do I get to meet him?" And she said, um, "Well, unless you're here Monday morning, you don't meet them." And this is the first time in 26 years that Amanda has gone with people that I don't know, that I've never met, that she's never met. Um, the provider has never met. The provider took her the morning of Mandy's first day, and they walked into the building, and they have computers that people can use while they wait. So Mandy sat down on the computer and got on YouTube and used that. And her provider kind of was looking around, and there was one person there, and that was the person that did the intake. And the provider kind of waited around, I think, to get an eye on the job coach and maybe chat with him. But that didn't happen. So because Amanda was involved in the computer and there wouldn't be an awful goodbye, her provider just left, which I would have done the same thing, because sometimes Amanda does not take goodbyes very well. So we do not get to meet the job coach. We don't get to talk to them. We don't get to give them helpful hints. So when your child transitions out of school and you do that initial intake appointment for their after school program when they're no longer in school, hopefully you started before we did. We started about a month before Amanda graduated. We should have started much sooner than that. Um, if you have an opportunity to start sooner than that, when you do the tour, ask to meet the job coaches, if that's what you want to do. Um, you know, People with Angelman syndrome can be unpredictable. I know a lot of parents, myself included, we like to touch base with anybody interacting with our kids. So, just a rundown. whether it's an after-school program or an agency that's dealing with your child, if somebody else is going to have your child, make sure you ask, do you have the ability to administer medication? Can I come in before my child starts and meet the staff and things like that? So the intake was short and sweet. Amanda enjoyed her first day. Last Monday was her first day. When she got home, I said, did you enjoy it? She nodded her head yes. I said, did you have fun? She nodded her head yes. And I said, were they nice to you? And Amanda didn't answer me. Now, if Amanda doesn't answer you and she doesn't want to get somebody in trouble, she's going to look down, she's going to walk away, you're going to know something's not right. She just didn't answer me and went on her merry way. So I kind of thought to myself that that's odd. But then I thought, maybe that's something Amanda never thought of. Maybe she doesn't think about that. So I guess I came to the conclusion that that question was a no-brainer to Amanda, and I probably should not have asked it. So that was a lesson learned. A lot of lessons learned. You always learn lessons during transitions. And, you know, when your child goes to school, that's a tough transition. When your child ages out and starts a new program, that is another tough transition. So, you know, when you are in the middle of whatever transition it is, have a good list of questions. Get your team together, your spouse, your mom, your sister, your friends, and say, what questions would you have? That way you have a good list of questions, because we just kind of did this on the fly. I didn't investigate a lot. I didn't get the team together and say, what questions would you have? And I probably should have done that. So I'm hoping that this gives you some ideas of things that you can ask that perhaps we overlook. So anyway, that was the intake. Nice, short, sweet. Amanda is doing well at her program. She seems to enjoy it. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, comment under this video on YouTube. I do answer those questions. So thanks for watching. Hope it helped.